Hey guys, Shadow here, and unless you've been living under a rock, you are familiar with the 12.0 update and what it's done to this gaming community and to all of our God tier champions. Well, folks have spoken, they've banded together, they boycotted, which calls for no spending and leaving negative reviews. Now, a few people have gone a little nuts and engaged in personal attacks against Kabam and those who represent them, but that's not really what the boycott is about. Well, it sounded like they heard us, and we've been waiting over the weekend for an update. Now, a lot of people thought that it would be a physical update, like the 12.0 update, but some of us, like myself, figured that it would be an announcement, but what we were expecting was an update containing details on what the next patch would be, similar to what they did with the 12.0 patch notes, which were data mined, but they still eventually released them, and it was more detailed on exactly what they were doing. Now, granted, they did a lot of things that they did not mention in the patch notes, but it at least had a little more detail. Well, it's Monday, and this is the update that they promised us. Hello, Summoners. We recently released our 12.0 update. In this update, we tried to do a lot, and we didn't work with you or our community on how these changes would impact you. We missed the mark by effectively making the game harder in a number of areas. This was not our intention. Really. Okay. And while we weren't shy about the fact that we intended to nerf some long-entrenched strategies, the changes were too deep, and we didn't give you enough strategies in their place. You have told us this loud and clear, and we've heard you. We are currently working on a new update. The dev team has been working through the weekend around the clock to get this update ready. It will take us several more days of testing, polishing, QA, and approvals before we can have this update live, but we are working to get it ready as soon as possible. Okay. Some of the specific areas we are improving are, but not limited to, your ability to survive and your effectiveness while blocking and parrying. The relative difficulty of harder content like Act 4, Realm of Legends, and Labyrinth of Legends. The impact of Challenger rating. Now, I am not a fan of Challenger rating, and I wish they would remove it, but we'll see. The effectiveness of Captain America World War II, Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch, Storm, Thor, Ghost Rider, and masteries such as Cruelty and Precision. This is not a complete list, but everything you see above will be part of the update to come. It should not have taken this response for us to create an update you'd enjoy. I just want to pause here. What response do you suppose they're referring to? See, there are some people that said the boycott was useless and that it didn't affect anything, that Kabam was already listening and that they would already do these things without the need for the boycott. I disagree. I believe the boycott, along with the negative reviews, along with a lot of people demanding their money back, all of these things combined was the response that they're talking about, in addition to responses on the forums and people trying to engage them in a discussion, which did not work, hence the boycott and the negative reviews and all of the other things that were happening. Okay, anyway, let's continue. We should have worked with you sooner to identify these problems and made these changes before the update was live to the world. In the meantime, we've shown some of the new update to a small group of summoners, and we'll be expanding that program as quickly as we can. Some of you may be contacted to join this small-scale beta program. Thank you in advance to those that are participating. We are discussing how to introduce a broader Summoner beta program in the future. This can't be built overnight, but we're committed to working towards it going forward. We will let you know when we are able to add more summoners to this program. Okay. How long has this game been out? It's been more than 2 years. And they do not have a beta program. That is surprising to me. But given what has happened, it explains a lot. I was going to make a post detailing some things that Kabam could do as a company to improve, because a lot of this is customer relations. They have terrible customer relations. A beta program was going to be at the top of my list, something they should have had in place long before this. But this is something that I do have hope for, and I look forward to seeing going forward. Okay, now let's continue. Though we can't guarantee an exact date for this update, we are working as fast as we can to have it available in the coming days. We need to ensure that we allow enough time for analyzing beta results and summoner feedback, building solutions to address beta results and summoner feedback, QA and bug fixing, processing time required by the app stores. I have no problem with any of that. We know that it's frustrating to wait further. We will be giving you daily status updates along the way right here on our blog. Honestly, I'd rather them give us some special events or arenas. Anyway, we are doing our best to be ready as soon as possible. When this update arrives, expect to find some exciting things waiting for you in the contest that we think you'll really like. Thank you for working with us, for talking to us, and for pushing us to make Marvel Contest of Champions the best it can be. Yes, they were definitely pushed, and they are correct. It should not have had to come to that. But I have a major problem with this update that we were waiting for. All of these things sound good, but there are no details. They're not telling us anything. When you look back here, it says that they are going to be improving the effectiveness of, and they have these characters. They've already told us that it's not limited to those characters. So we don't know how many other characters they're going to be improving, and we don't know what the nature of these improvements are. How are they going to improve Captain America? See, they've lost the trust of most of us. And so when they say they want to improve these things, we don't have a lot of faith that they are going to improve it in a way that would actually benefit us. They improved Map 6 Spider-Man by taking away his power regen or reducing his power regen, which actually made him harder. So the community would like to see a little more transparency and a little more detail on the nature of the changes. Now, perhaps they don't have that just yet. But if they were working through the weekend, as they said they were, then they have to be working on something. They had to have had a plan that they are now implementing, and it's taking time. Now, they did say that they showed it to a small group. We don't know who this group is, but okay. Now, here's the response that the alliances, a large group of them, had. Now, I'm not going to read this entire thing. Let me make it a little bigger for you. That's not going to work. That's about it. You're going to just have to read along with it. But basically, they're saying what I was saying as well. That there wasn't enough detail, and they even made some suggestions of what they would like to see done and addressed. They pointed out a lot of the flaws in the update that they want to see fixed. Okay, you guys can pause this and rewind it and do whatever you need to do in order to read what this response said. And basically, here's a list of all of the alliances that signed on with this. You can pause it if you want to see. I think I highlighted my alliance. Yep, there it is. X unit. We're signed on. So that's going to do it for me, guys. We're waiting here for an actual patch. Even though they didn't provide any details, I am still looking for some improvements, and I'm hoping that they will release a more detailed patch note before they actually release the patch. That would be great. They said they wanted to work with us, and one of the items that I would have put in my post is transparency. Be more transparent. And what they're doing here is not being more transparent. But in any case, let us hope for a better future of the game, and you guys take care. I will put the links to both of these articles in my description, and you guys have a blessed day.